Hey guys and gals, it's your buddy Drew from Living History's Mysteries and Ferocious Feline Productions. Since the beginning of recorded history, and even predating recorded history, exploration and trade played an important role in bringing groups of people together. I wanted to take a look at one of the most historic and mysterious trade routes the world has ever seen. In the 16th century, 17th century, this route became known by a famous name, the Silk Road. And the mystery and the history behind it is astounding. Check this out. This is good.
The Silk Road was far more than just a network of trade routes. It was a colossal force that wove civilizations together, crafting a tapestry of connection that transcended mere commerce. Stretching over sun-scorched deserts and lush, verdant valleys, it spanned thousands of miles, bridging the vast and disparate worlds of the East and West for centuries. This sprawling web facilitated not just the exchange of material goods but also the movement of ideas, philosophies, religions, and cultures. Along its winding paths, mighty empires stood side by side with small, independent kingdoms, while nomadic tribes and settled societies coexisted, each contributing to the shared fabric of human history. The Silk Road pulsed as the heart of this vast network, shaping every aspect of life along its course, leaving an indelible mark on the civilizations it touched. Through its roots, the flow of knowledge, culture, and commerce profoundly influenced the course of history, leaving echoes that reverberated long after its decline. The story of the Silk Road begins in China. During the ambitious expansion of the Han Dynasty in the 2nd century BCE, driven by Emperor Wu's vision to extend his empire's reach beyond its borders, a chain of events was set into motion, events that would forever alter the world. Wu's drive to create new trade routes wasn't merely about acquiring wealth. It was about forging a connection between distant lands and weaving a new kind of global network. Through his initiative, China's advanced civilization was linked to faraway realms, including Central Asia, Persia, India, and even the Mediterranean. These newfound connections gave rise to a vibrant exchange, and it was China's prized treasure silk that began its long journey westward. While the term Silk Road would not be coined until the 19th century by German geographer Ferdinand von Richthofen, it stands as a fitting symbol of the precious commodity that defined this monumental route. Silk, the fabric of empires, silk, the very embodiment of luxury and refinement, was so cherished across the ancient world that it became inextricably woven into the identity of China itself. For centuries, the secret of silk production was zealously guarded, its origins veiled in an air of mystery. To the Chinese, silk was not merely a commodity, it was a profound symbol of status, wealth, and cultural sophistication. Treated sparingly, it journeyed through a complex labyrinth of intermediaries along the Silk Road, each step in its passage adding to its allure and mystique. As it moved across vast continents, silk found its way to distant lands like Rome, where it transcended the role of mere fabric. In the imperial courts of the West, it became a powerful emblem of authority and exclusivity, reserved only for emperors and the highest echelons of society. The story of silk's journey along the Silk Road is just one fascinating chapter in the larger saga of how the exchange of goods transformed the ancient world, linking disparate civilizations and forever altering the contours of trade, culture, and power dynamics. The ripple effects of this movement were felt far beyond the trade itself, shaping the very course of history. Yet, the Silk Road was far more than a mere conduit for the passage of opulent treasures. It served as a vital lifeline for a myriad of goods, each contributing to the grand, transcontinental exchange that spanned civilizations. Alongside silk, spices from the lush fields of India, exotic fruits from Southeast Asia, precious metals from Persia, and the wool of Central Asia traveled with equal importance, weaving an intricate tapestry of trade. The fragrant spices cinnamon, pepper, cloves became coveted treasures in the West, their rich aromas symbolizing both luxury and rarity. These highly sought-after commodities fueled demand, driving the relentless pursuit to keep the trade routes open. The Silk Road's pathways were not simply arteries of commerce. They were the veins of an interconnected ancient economy, pulsing with the exchange of goods, cultures, and ideas. Through these routes, empires flourished and civilizations blended, shaping a world that was, for the first time in history, bound together by the far-reaching power of trade. As goods traversed the Silk Road, they carried more than just material wealth, they carried the seeds of transformation. This vast network of trade routes was a highway not only for merchants, but for travelers, adventurers, missionaries, and diplomats, each one contributing to the cultural and intellectual tapestry of the civilizations they encountered. The impact of these journeys stretched far beyond the exchange of goods. They left indelible marks on every facet of society, from philosophy to religion, art to science. What began as a simple means of commerce gradually morphed into a powerful catalyst for the spread of ideas and innovations, acting as a bridge between vastly different cultures, the ideologies, technologies, and philosophies that flowed along the Silk Road sparked profound shifts in thought and practice, shaping the course of history in ways that reverberated for centuries. The Silk Road, in its evolution, became a crucible for cultural exchange, one whose legacy continues to influence the world today. One of the most profound and transformative aspects of the Silk Road was the exchange of ideas, philosophies, and religions forces that would leave an indelible mark on civilizations across the globe. At the heart of this intellectual and spiritual exchange was the spread of Buddhism. Born in the heart of India, this ancient philosophy began its journey along the Silk Road, infiltrating Central Asia, China, Korea, and Japan. Buddhist monks and missionaries, often the most dedicated and tireless travelers, carried with them more than just sacred texts. They brought with them the intricate beauty of Buddhist art, the serenity of icons, and the profound teachings that would go on to shape the spiritual and cultural fabric of entire nations. As they journeyed, these travelers didn't only spread their own beliefs. They encountered, debated, and intermingled with the diverse religious tapestry of the Silk Road. Zoroastrianism, Manichaeism, and much later, Islam, blurring the lines between Eastern and Western spiritual traditions. The result was a religious and philosophical melting pot that deeply influenced the spiritual landscapes of Asia and beyond. But the Silk Road was not merely a conduit for religion, it was equally a highway for the transmission of knowledge, technology, and scientific discoveries. Among the most influential inventions to make their way westward was paper, a Chinese creation that would radically transform the Islamic world and later Europe. Paper revolutionized communication, enabling the spread of ideas, texts, and knowledge in ways that would fuel the rise of literacy and education in the West. Just as pivotal was the Chinese invention of gunpowder, another treasure carried along the Silk Road that would forever change the nature of warfare. Alongside it came the techniques of printing and the compass, which reshaped not just battlefields but also navigation and global communication. By the 9th century, Arab traders astute and pragmatic had absorbed these innovations, adapting them to suit their needs and enhancing their own technological capabilities. The exchange of such knowledge through the Silk Road would go on to influence the trajectory of civilizations across continents, changing the course of history. The Silk Road was a crucible of cultural exchange, not just a conduit for the movement of goods and technologies, but also a vibrant channel for the exchange of artistic ideas. The blending of Greek, Persian, and Indian artistic traditions created a fusion that birthed new and unique forms of art, many of which continue to captivate scholars and artists today. A prime example of this artistic amalgamation can be found in the Gandhar region, nestled in what is now modern-day Pakistan and Afghanistan. Here, Greco-Buddhist art flourished, a striking synthesis of Greek artistic techniques with Buddhist iconography. The very image of the Buddha, with its serene, almost ethereal facial features and flowing robes, owes much to the influence of Hellenistic art, which was introduced to the region by the conquests of Alexander the Great. The Greek artistic legacy that followed in the wake of these conquests melded with local traditions in Central Asia, forever altering the way that Buddhist art would be perceived and created. Integral to the success of the Silk Road were the nomadic peoples of Central Asia, whose unparalleled skill in maneuvering across the harsh, ever-changing landscapes of the region made them indispensable to the functioning of this vast network. These nomads, with their intimate knowledge of the terrain and their mastery of horseback riding, were the guardians of the Silk Road, ensuring the safe passage of goods and travelers alike. Their mobility allowed them to control and protect the trade routes, acting as intermediaries between distant empires and small, isolated kingdoms. They navigated the vast deserts and rugged mountains with ease, and their presence on the Silk Road was essential in maintaining the flow of commerce and culture across continents. Without their expertise and protection, the sprawling trade network might never have flourished as it did. These nomadic tribes, including the Scythians, Sogdians, and eventually the Mongols, served as the essential intermediaries between the great empires of the East and West. As expert horsemen, they were able to traverse long distances with remarkable speed and agility, ensuring the safety of the traders who relied on the Silk Road for their livelihoods. Among these tribes, the Sogdians stood out as the most influential. Known for their expansive commercial networks, they played a central role in the economic and cultural exchange along the Silk Road. Their vibrant trading posts in cities such as Samarkand, Bukhara, and Merv became bustling hubs of commerce, culture, and innovation where goods, ideas, and peoples from across the known world converged. The era of the Mongol Empire marked the zenith of the Silk Road, a time when this ancient network of trade routes reached its greatest heights. Under the visionary leadership of Genghis Khan and his successors, the Mongols united an immense swath of territory, stretching from the Pacific Ocean to the Caspian Sea, creating an empire so vast it became one of the largest in history. This unprecedented unification was paired with the Pax Mongolica, or Mongol Peace, a period of relative stability and safety that allowed merchants and travelers to traverse the length of the Silk Road without fear of the violence and disruption that had often plagued previous centuries. The Mongols, ever pragmatic and strategic, actively encouraged trade by offering protection to traders and establishing an efficient postal system to facilitate the swift movement of goods, messages, and even ideas across their sprawling empire. The 13th and 14th centuries thus saw a flourishing of trade that was unparalleled in both scale and diversity, with goods from east to west and vice versa flowing more freely than ever before. During this golden age of exchange, cultural and scientific collaborations blossomed between the East and the West, as new ideas and technologies moved across the vast expanse of the Mongol Empire. One of the most iconic figures in this period of cross-cultural dialogue was the Venetian traveler Marco Polo. Polo's legendary journey to China in the 13th century provided Europeans with one of the first detailed and vivid accounts of the wealth, sophistication, and technological advancements of the Yuan dynasty under the Mongols. His descriptions of the opulence of the Mongol court, the grandeur of Beijing, and the astonishing innovations of the East ignited curiosity and wonder in the West, sparking a renewed interest in exploration, trade, and the possibilities of cross-cultural exchange. Marco Polo's stories, although sometimes embellished, inspired a new wave of European desire to reach the East and to explore the reaches of the Silk Road for themselves, laying the groundwork for the age of exploration that would follow in the centuries to come. As the Mongol Empire fragmented in the late 14th century, the once secure and bustling Silk Road began to lose its central role in global trade. The mighty empire that had unified vast swaths of land, creating a period of unprecedented stability, was crumbling, and with it, the stability of the trade routes that had flourished under the Pax Mongolica. At the same time, a new force was rising, powerful maritime trade routes, spearheaded by European powers like the Portuguese, Spanish, and later the Dutch. The opening of sea passages around Africa, and the eventual voyages to the Americas, shifted the very axis of global commerce, turning the focus away from the overland routes of the Silk Road and toward the high seas. The promise of faster, safer, and more direct maritime trade rendered the once crucial Silk Road routes less essential, as goods could now be transported more efficiently across the oceans. In addition to these shifting global trade dynamics, the Silk Road also faced a catastrophic blow in the form of the Black Death, the plague, carried by rats and fleas, swept mercilessly across Europe, Asia, and the Middle East during the 14th century, decimating populations and leaving entire cities in ruins. As it spread along the trade routes, it left a trail of death and disruption. The death toll was staggering, and the plague brought life along the Silk Road to a near halt. Commerce, once vibrant and thriving, faltered as the human and economic toll of the Black Death rendered many regions unable to participate in trade. The death of so many people along the route, coupled with the larger geopolitical and economic shifts, marked the beginning of the end for the Silk Road as the beating heart of global trade. Despite the challenges that led to its eventual decline, the legacy of the Silk Road endures as a powerful reminder of its profound impact on the world. The exchange of ideas, technologies, and cultures between the East and West left an indelible mark on human history, shaping civilizations and laying the foundation for future global exchanges. The Silk Road was far more than a mere collection of trade routes. It was a dynamic, living conduit for human connection, intertwining the cultures of Europe, Asia, and Africa in a way that would not be replicated until the rise of modern global networks. The exchanges that unfolded along its paths reshaped entire societies, influencing not just commerce but science, philosophy, art, and religion. The cultural, scientific, and technological advancements that began along the Silk Road continue to reverberate today, shaping our world in ways that echo through time. Its legacy lives on, a testament to the power of connection, collaboration, and the transformative potential of cross-cultural dialogue. The connection between the East and West forged by the Silk Road was far more than just an economic one. It was a bridge built on shared experiences, mutual curiosity, and a deeper understanding of the diversity of human cultures. Through this network, knowledge flowed freely, influencing not just the goods traded, but the ideas and philosophies that would later redefine entire civilizations. While the ancient Silk Road may no longer exist in the same form, its legacy lives on in the interconnected world we inhabit today, where goods, ideas, and cultures continue to cross borders at a pace once unimaginable. The ancient road may have been silenced, but its echoes continue to reverberate in our globalized society, a reminder of the power of connection across vast distances and diverse peoples. As global trade expands and new forms of communication and transport emerge, the spirit of the Silk Road remains alive, a timeless reminder of the enduring power of connectivity and exchange. The Silk Road was never just a trade route. It was a dynamic conduit for ideas, a lifeline that connected civilizations across vast distances, and a symbol of the transformative potential of human interaction. In its heyday, it united cultures, fostered the exchange of knowledge, and sparked innovations that continue to resonate today. The legacy of the Silk Road, in all its complexity and far-reaching influence, serves as a testament to the indomitable human spirit and the connections that bind societies across the globe, transcending time and geography. Even in our modern age of hyperconnectivity, the Silk Road's essence, the idea that through trade, culture, and shared understanding, the world becomes smaller and more interconnected, continues to inspire and shape the paths we travel today.
Welcome back. You know, it's like I was saying in the beginning, exploration, trade, where would the world be without it? Though Asia was closed off from the rest of the world for several centuries, the Silk Road still played a pivotal role in the transportation of treasures, silks, religion, and cultural understanding all over Eurasia. History only knows how many thousands or hundreds of thousands of people from India, the Middle East, China, countless countries mingled and traded at those bazaars. The goods only found in their specific regions of the world. It's a fascinating story, and one I would highly recommend that you look into just a little bit more. I've only got so much time to tell a story, and stories like this deserve more time than I can give. But that's all I've got for you today. I hope you enjoyed this look at the Silk Road. Important time in our history. Until next time, take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. God bless you. God love you. We do. And we'll see you out there.